Draft is over. We are back. Bet Online, Salute to Troy podcast. I'm all choked up because I am excited today. We're doing one of the best positions, the top 10 from one of the best positions. Probably, this one is probably going to be one of the best positions that we're going to debate over, other than quarterback, probably. But today this is all time, and we have to give this disclaimer. It's the Bet Online Salute to Troy podcast. I'm with my host, Candice Davis Price, fellow Trojan.
There we go.
Big time. She's seen some of these guys in action for sure.
Side by side.
This is probably going to be debatable. We're going to get a lot of comments. Now, I've been told this. I will suggest this. I'm going to tell you this right now. Watch it on YouTube. When you watch this, go back and look at the show. Watch it on YouTube so you can see the comments. And Ryan has gave us full reign to comment if we want to comment. But you still have to keep it within PG-13.
So what you're telling me is people are going to be Twitter thugging on us because they're going to be real bold behind the keyboard, is what you're saying.
Right, because they're not going to agree with what we have. But it is what it is. I don't care because, it's opinion. But I think there's going to be a lot of upset people because today we're doing top 10 running backs all time at USC.
And they undoubtedly, arguably could be top 10 athletes, football players ever in college football.
Right. You're right. But who I have at number 1 and number 2, I don't think people are going to expect it to be that. So that's just a little precursor.
Okay.
Right. So how I have the rankings is going to be like, and I have a reason why. I don't care about stats. Like, oh, well, he ran more yards than him. He ran more yards than him. That doesn't matter. The most important thing is the impact to the Trojan culture. So when I do my rankings, it's the impact to the Trojan culture, right? So it's like, all right, well, I'll put it like this. Our top 3 are Heisman winners. I think there are 4 Heisman winners on this list. Anthony Davis, Charles White, Reggie Bush, O.J. Simpson. And Marcus Allen. 5 Heisman winners.
Let's keep it 100. Even when we were there, when I was there, like the depth of the positions, it kind of made it even difficult for one to shine, right?
Right.
It might have hurt. So if you got, I won't say any names yet because I don't want to reveal mine, but if you got Thunder and Lightning, it potentially could hurt both of their potential of who they could be great because they were duo. But we'll just leave it there. We don't want to get into it like that yet.
And so that was the point that I was going to make. There's 4 people there's 4 people on my list. There's 4 people on my list that played in the backfield together.
Okay.
So there's 4 people on my list that played in the backfield together. 5 Heisman Trophy winners. I think majority of them went on to be a pro. I think they all 10 went to be a pro on my list. So, and most of them have great pro careers. But pro doesn't matter. Let's clear that. It does not matter if they had a great pro career. It matters about we're talking about USC. So we're going to count Reggie as Heisman winner. Put his jersey back in there.
Give him his money back.
Give him. There are billboards.
Save that for next time.
There's billboards around LA saying, "Hey, NCAA, give Reggie his Heisman back."
If you're releasing people out of jail for their weed convictions, you're definitely giving Heisman Trophy winners that did not take any, that didn't murder anybody, and that didn't take any PEDs. Give them back their stuff. Okay.
Right. So let's start the list. Let's get into this. Right. All right. So my number 10, and it's tough. Hold on, I have it written down. Let me refresh this. I want to make sure we're all good to go. My number 10, it's tough. Played in the backfield with a Heisman Trophy winner. Did not win a Heisman Trophy. But when he was there, he influenced more games than people think. So when his counterpart, who's also on the list, wasn't playing up to his standard, which was still a high standard, he took over the game. I think at one point he had the touchdown record at USC. I could be wrong. If he did not have it, don't kill me for it, people. I think he did. But He was a part of national championship team, 2 national championship teams. He was the Thunder in the Thunder and Lightning backfield.
And this is your number what?
10.
Okay, we might get it going.
My number 10 is I'm gonna go with Lindell White.
Oh, Lindell White is in the top 10, but he's my top 5.
I mean, he can be. He's your top 5. I understand that, but
why do you understand that?
Because I mean, a lot of people overlook like the true legends that were at USC. Like when we get through the list, you're like, oh wow, like any of them could be. I mean, 1 through 1. I'll say I put it like this: any of them could be 1 through 4. You can't be wrong, but you have to make a decision. This is a hard conversation we have to have, right? You have to have hard conversations.
We're jumping in this right now. I guess my thoughts are you not discounting him because he's not a Heisman Trophy winner, right?
No, I have non-Heisman Trophy winners above him.
Okay.
It doesn't matter about Heisman Trophy winner. It just matters about, like I say, like when I look at it, I look at the legacy of USC, right? We know who Lindell is, but when we talk about the other people, we'll talk about those people before we talk about Lindell, in my opinion.
Okay, so Lindell's in my top 5. We already getting it cracking, and at least he's in both of our top 10.
Yeah.
So we can be there together.
Who do you have for your number 10?
So I'm just going to be 100 because, I mean, I feel like my experience is different. Like I was in school with Lindell Wright, with Reggie Bush, like with these guys. Don't get me wrong, Desmond Reed. Okay, this is a guy who anywhere else would start and be fantastic, but was overshadowed by the Thunder and Lightning. So, like, I'm going to get no love on this, but Desmond Reed is my number 10 because phenomenal athlete, team player, role player. If you don't have a guy like that, you don't get the relief that you need on those 2 big guys, and you can throw him in, doesn't tear up the momentum. Overall, I think if we're talking culture and we're talking impact, Desmond Reed is like a ghostwriter. He's making hits, but he's not out there performing on stage. And I feel like he was an integral part at why Lindell and Reggie could be who they were. That's a relief guy. So that's it. Desmond Reed.
I understand. I hear what you're saying. Desmond doesn't make my top 10.
No, I know he doesn't make any. If he wasn't my boy, he probably would have. So there's some biased personal feelings there. Just keep.
And I will tell you why. This is the first thing I'll say. I love Dez. Dez was a great guy. When I came in, Dez was already there. Dez was a great leader in the locker room. But Dez's career got cut short when he got injured at Notre Dame. Okay. So he never reached his full potential of what he could have been. Great punt returner, one of probably the greatest punt returners. He was a great scat back. He had Marshall Faulk features, I would say. Okay. But as far as like the legacy of USC running backs, like he's not in the top 10. Does he make a list? Maybe 25, 50?
25 for sure. Again,
you know what I mean? But
this is me being the woman. These are my feelings involved. This is my guy. Me and SAS kicking it like we used to be broke together. We used to be out there hitting the turf with Ivan and Jamie yelling at us. Like it's a totally different feel. When you said impact on culture, there's more culture than there is actual like yardage, numbers, statistics stuff.
No, I understand. Definitely. So
Alfred, we gotta have it interesting.
Hey, you got Dez. I have Lindell. All right, so we're gonna move on to number 9, right? So I'll let you take number 9. Who do you have for number 9?
Okay, Mike Garrett.
All right. Well, is that because he was your athletic director?
Yes. And to be fair, I didn't realize what an impact he was because I met him as just a regular, I say civilian, as like, hey, you need to get these grades up or you're about to be paying for tuition type thing. But then realizing the type of athlete he was. And then again, this is a personal impact coming back to the school, having a direct impact on the athletes that played an integral part into away from the stats. The top 5 was really easy for me to come to, but 5 and below, it kind of got a little muddy for me. So I'm going with Mike Garrett.
All right. That's a good one. You got to keep in mind he's a Heisman winner. So he's a Heisman winner. So my number 9, I actually played with him. He was younger than me. He was versatile. This might be a debate. This might send you too crazy because I put him over Lindell, and I don't care. It is what it is. He was able to do more. He was able to catch out the backfield. He was able to run the ball. He could be a receiver. He could do everything. Great kid. He was from Louisiana. He's not with us anymore. Rest in peace. But my number 9 is Joe McKnight.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah, what Joe did at number 9, like Joe was a versatile running back. He was a name, household name. Everybody knew who he was. He was supposed to be their next Reggie. He wasn't, but that's fine because he still made big plays at USC. He didn't have to be Reggie. He was able to be Joe. And what they were able to do with Joe, he was able to do a lot of things.
Absolutely. On that one.
Before we move to number 8, I want to let everybody know that this is brought to you by Bet Online. Where you could go, you could bet all your big sports. It's basketball playoffs, USFL, right? We got a big Kentucky Derby race this weekend. All UFC fights up to minute. We're in the middle of baseball season. We even have futures on who's going to win presidential elections. You can prop bet, do everything. Go to betonline.com and put in promo code BELIEVE. That's BELAV, and you get a 50% match on your bonus. So if you're into sports betting, head to betonline.com. That's betonline.ag, where the game starts. One more thing. We put out a poll. Who is an all-time running back? We got the fans vote. The fans did not vote who we thought was number 1.
Really?
Yep. Well, I think we have a little bit over the crowd because it was close. It was close. So Reggie was 90%. 91% was Marcus Allen.
Really?
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to get into it too much because we'll get there, but that's what I'm talking about with I'll just be very fair. My USC deep history is very limited because I was there during Trojan War. Who's in Marcus? Is it just Marcus Allen? Like you got Reggie Bush and Lendell Wright, right? So we know for a fact that Reggie and Lendell's numbers would be different. It was just them. So what are they basing Marcus Allen on? Was he just that incredible?
He was that incredible. Okay. Marcus Allen was great.
He was that incredible. I low-key feel like he could still get out there and get after it. He looks incredible.
Yeah, Marcus Allen and Marcus Allen played in the backfield with Anthony Davis, who also, I believe, won a Heisman.
Okay. All right.
So
I feel like undoubtedly people say Marcus Allen when they think of USC running backs.
Maybe not. There's some other names on there that people like. Okay. So we're gonna go to number 8. I'm gonna lead off this number 8. So my number 8. All right. This is not a very known name. Because he kind of played after. Let's see. He played before some big names that came in. But he was a dude. Didn't win the Heisman, but ran the ball hard. Rose Bowl guy. My number 8 is I'm gonna go with Ricky Bell. So Ricky Bell played in the 70s. In the 70s, big time. He played good football. Was a Rose Bowl guy. He kind of played. Let me check. I think he played after Sam Bam.
Yeah, he played. Google facts right because they'll be coming for you.
So he played after Sam Bam, right? He played after Sam Bam. He was there after Sam Bam, and he was there before Charles White. So he filled that void, and he was kind of like you said, the ghostwriter to the start of Tailback U. So you had Sam Bam, Ricky Bell, and then Charles White. So that's what I'm going with at number 8. Who do you have?
I would go with Joe McKnight at number 8.
Okay, I don't argue that.
And again, viewers, listeners, it's very different. I had a very personal experience. It wasn't just about statistics. It's really about seeing these guys' work ethic. And when I think of Joe McKnight, I do think of an overall athlete. Also, like you said before, a true stand-up guy. Always had a smile, pleasant, more than just a football player. And again, that does impact me as being an athlete more than just stats and numbers, because those are variables that can be, argued about all types of things. So I will go with Joe McKnight there.
All right.
At least not everybody in the group. So right.
I don't argue that. I'm not arguing Joe McKnight. That's a good place. Like, as good as Joe was, Joe's where he belongs on this list, right? Because when you look at all the other names, like Joe's where he belongs on this list. So it's not the fact that who's on this list and he's down at the bottom is not a knock on Joe. It's just how great SC was, and it shows how good Joe was. You know what I mean? Like, it's a double-edged sword that's kind of good both ways. It's a catch-22. So we're going to move on. That was number 8. We're going to move on to number 7. Who do you have as number 7? You go ahead. Start your number 7.
No, you go first.
All right.
I'm shaky between 10 and 5. I'll be honest. I'm shaky. 1 through 5, I feel real good about.
Okay. So my number 7. Oh, man. My number 7 is kind of I'll give you a story about my number 7.
All right.
I think he's a 3-time Rose Bowl winner. My number 7 played in a time when the SEC was still segregated. Paul Bear Bryant at the time, the Alabama coach, flew out to talk to John McKay. He said, "Hey, I need you guys to come play down here." John McKay said, "Absolutely not." Bear Bryant then flew Paul McKay down there. John McKay flew John McKay down there. He had talked about it. He said, "All right, we'll come down here and play you guys, but you guys have to come play us." They agreed to it. This guy went down there, ran all up and down the field, beat him, brought him in the locker room. Bear Bryant said, "This is a football player. He's big, he's fast, this and that." That next year, I think Alabama had about 10 football players on their roster in order to catch up. And this guy set the string. He also started the leap over the pile.
Well, how do you know this story? This sounds very factual. How do you know this?
Because I know the history of SC running backs. Like,
you do. This isn't history. This is like authenticity. This is like a history person that like knows the facts. This is deep.
So I will tell you this too. I also will tell you this. They also, my freshman year, they had a screening of this whole story at SC.
Okay.
In the theater.
Okay. All right. There we go.
But like, you heard the story all the time. I knew about the Bear Bryant story before, like, but I didn't know like the. So we're number 7.
Yes.
Yeah, my number 7 is Sam Bam Cunningham.
Oh wow!
Before you go that, I will tell you a personal story about Sam Bam Cunningham.
Okay, enlighten me.
My very first game, Sam Bam comes up to me because I wore 39. Hey, 39. What? I haven't seen it. Look, I wore 39. Boom. Oh, you can't see my number thing.
No,
he was like, I haven't seen a black dude wear 39 in a long time. That's good to see. Like, if you need anything, come talk to me. Like, man, it's good to see you. He was kind of like a mentor every time I saw him and he was at the games. He talked to me, always said hello. He was a very stand-up dude. He was a good dude. He's no longer with us, but all my respects go to Sam Bam Cunningham. He's like, I would say like he started to solidify the name of Tailback U at USC.
Okay. So I'm just going to be 100. I grew up in Ann Arbor. So my understanding and connection to USC history is very different than yours. I'm glad I know you. Well, what about a player like, I don't know. No, he's not quite there. I told you my 1 through 5 is awesome, but my 5 through is a little like you're gonna have to take 7. You're gonna take 7, 8, 9. I mean, 7, 6. Give me a 5.
Okay, so all right. So we're gonna go to 6. We're at 6. Yeah. Before we go to 6, I just want to let you know. I want to let you know this too. Like I told you before, 5:30 in the morning, I need to be on the job site. Most important meal of the day, breakfast. Can't miss breakfast. How do I eat breakfast? But I have to be able to get through the day. High stress job, always moving, got to make things happen. I started taking athletic greens. Athletic greens got me through the day because when you wake up that early morning, by the time you hit 9 o'clock, you're starving. So I had to figure out what can I take that's not McDonald's or anything like that, and it's still good for my body. I went with athletic greens. Athletic greens took care of everything. They get me through that 9 o'clock wall, that 9 a.m. wall. It has over 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food ingredients. They have things in there like vitamin C. It's non-GMO. Only 1 gram of sugar. So that's good. That's also good for you.
Where was that when I was in school?
That's what I would like to know too. Also, Athletic Greens donated over 1.2 million meals to kids in 2020. So they're also charitable. They are for profit, but they're not all about the money. They're about making people healthy. Everything is good about Athletic Greens. It has vitamin D. It's a micro habit, big benefits. It's one thing you can do every single day where you can take care of yourself. So when I take Athletic Greens, I drink it, and I know I did something good, and I did not go get a egg McMuffin or a sausage McMuffin or grab something through the drive-thru.
Hey, but that
right
does hit, but you're right.
It does hit. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/salute to Troy. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/salute to Troy to take ownership over your health and pick up your ultimate daily nutritional insurance. So if you want to go through the day and not feel like crap, go grab you some Athletic Greens. And it doesn't taste bad, believe it or not.
I'm about to, hey, sign me up. You got to give me the free year. You can sign me up. I'm good.
Doesn't even taste bad. All right. So we're on number 6.
Okay.
Number 6. Number 6 is interesting because it kind of puts you in the middle.
Huh?
It kind of like, all right, who is number 6? Number 6 is not a big household name, right? I will tell you that.
Okay.
So I fought this and I was like, nope, I'm just going to do it. I don't care if people get upset with me. This dude deserves to be at number 6 because of what he did when he was there. Let me ask you this question. When was your freshman year?
2003.
2003. Okay, so you just missed him, but you probably heard of him. He was there at the start of Pete. So he was there at the very foot of the mountain. But he was very good. He's out of Pasadena, California. He also played receiver. He was a running back. He was a name on the team that was bad, and people still knew who he was.
Okay.
He was also there when it started. He's one of the names that people knows, like, oh, he was a part of the team that got it started. He played with Troy and all this guy. My number 6, because of who he was, what he did. Very versatile, play receiver at times, like I said. He was there when it was bad, knew who he was. He was there when it started to get good. He was actually a fluid part of that team that played against Iowa that won the Orange Bowl with Troy and all them. Okay. My number 6 is still Tim McCullough.
Okay. I was at the tail end. Yep. I'm on there. He was on my list. But I always, I try and be fair to say, like, if I don't know too much, I don't want to dive in, but you know enough to back that up. So, yeah, Sutang, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you ever meet him or you just heard about him?
No, I've seen him around. And I was young, but it's very impressionable. And yeah, you're right. Like right at the tail end, right before it took off.
Yep. That's when he was there. He played with Troy and all them. So that's my number 6. You're skipping number 6 because you're nervous. We're getting into the guts of this now. I'm taking
your number 6, but I got 5, 1 through 5. We could go with it.
So we're getting into the guts of this now. So these are the top 5 top running backs all time at USC. That's what you have to keep in mind, right? Now I will say this: I miss Mike Garrett, right? Man, I don't know where to put him because of the people who I have at 5.
Okay.
Mike Garrett belongs on the list, but I don't know. He belongs somewhere between the 7 and 8. So I don't want people to be like, oh, well, you forgot Mike Garrett. I don't know where to put Mike Garrett. And I'm going to take that, I guess, that way out. I don't know where to put him. If you have a problem with it, I don't care. I don't know where to put him, but Mike Garrett But that
I
is
had
one of
him
the
on my list, and we're teammates here. So
Heisman winner, athletic director. He's the one who brought in Pete Carroll. Done so much for USC. Nothing against Mike Garrett. I will tell you this: if you mess up and you have to go see Mr. Garrett, that is not a conversation you want to have. So I've been there where you walk up and you see athletes from different sports. You're like, bro, like, aren't you on the tennis team? Like, yeah, Mr. Garrett wants to see me. Like, oh, we're in trouble. It was legit like going to go see the principal. I just didn't know where to put him.
I appreciate that because I coach now and I got kids in college and they don't know their ADs. And my AD was approachable in a good and bad. Like after, it was like, if you ever got whooped by your parents, which I did, it was that hug after the whooping. So you would see him at the track meet. You see him at Howard Jones. You'd see him, at the Coliseum. You'd see him on campus and you'd be like, he was like totally relatable. Nowadays, these kids, they don't know their ADs. They don't know. They're like, I don't want to say the word invincible, but the AD position is definitely evolved. So Mike Garrett.
Yeah. He does belong on the list. 7, 6. All right. So we're getting into 5. Okay.
Yeah.
So number 5. Man, this is hard. I hate USC. Number 5. Man. Number 5. He was a dude. He was deemed the Notre Dame killer. Ran up and down on UCLA. Ran through the Pac-8, I believe, at that time. Great guy. This was one of the few guys that I thought should be a Heisman winner, but I was surprised when he wasn't a Heisman winner. I'm like, damn, he never won the Heisman. That's crazy. Who would have won it those years? But he didn't win it. But at the end of the day, like, he is running back He is USC. My number 5 is Anthony Davis.
My number 5 is Anthony Davis. No cap.
Right.
No cap. I mean, because you're right. I feel like the stats were high, but we're not banking everything on stats. Prolific player is some of the research I read on him. Again, I'm not as deep into history. I'm not going to pretend that I am. But yeah, the rivalry between Notre Dame and USC, like he kept that real. Like Bloods and Crips real.
Straight Notre Dame killer. Like, so Anthony, like, you can't argue Anthony Davis top 5 running back. Like,
yeah. I think that's a great place for him. Like you said, that 5 is like 5 you enter in kind of like the trenches, and then the 5 and below is not bad, but they're deserving of being on the list.
Right. So like, he like, he's the foundation of what a USC running back is. All of them aren't, but like when you talk about like elite USC running back, like he's that foundation of it. That's why when like
did you say Pac-8?
Yeah, back then it was the Pac-8. They didn't have Arizona in there.
Now we have like we don't even know. It's like 12, 10, or 8. It might be Pac-8 right now, given the departure of USC.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's the Pac-10 because it's the Pac-12, so it'll be the Pac-10 again.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so and you agree with me, so it looks like I'm going in the right direction.
We trending. We trending.
So number 4 was actually the starting running back when Marcus Allen got there. Believe it or not.
Okay.
They had to put him on the field at the same time because Marcus Allen was so good. They put Marcus Allen at fullback and he played running back. Number 4 was a dude. I want to check to see before I say this because I can't remember if his number's in the end zone.
Get your facts straight.
No, I'm gonna check and see. I don't care.
Yeah, it's gonna get real dicey because you are.
Yep. Yeah, he did win the Heisman. So he's one of the Heisman winners on the list.
Okay.
Did win the Heisman, right? So my number 4 running back, Charles White.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. My number 4 is OJ Simpson.
Oh my God. You can't do that.
No.
You have to take that back. No.
I mean.
No. I mean, it's your opinion. It's your opinion. You're right. Your number 4 is OJ Simpson.
Still at 10, so you know that we. Why can't OJ be number 4?
That's the juice, man. He is like, that's the
juice.
juice.
He's the straight up juice. The juice in more than a few ways. And not even joking on that. But I didn't realize that he came from a junior college. Again, those want to judge me because, she's not no, I'm an athlete. I like to see the whole package. Wonderful. 2 years and to do what he did, impressive. Yeah. Give that's a whole other conversation about giving him his Heisman back. But if you're gonna take his Heisman, you definitely
they didn't take his. He still has it.
My point exactly. The fact that he has his sitting up in the Heritage, and my boy Reggie's is sitting in some old CEO of an NCAA office collecting dust.
Right.
That's another.
I agree.
But so yeah, the juice. OJ the juice man.
All right. Well, things are about to get interesting here.
They're about to get real interesting.
Because we're on what, number 4?
We're on 4.
We just did number 4. We're on number 3.
No, he's 4. Yep.
My 4 was Anthony. My 4 was Charles White.
Yep.
Your 4 was OJ Simpson. So I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna let you do your number 3 because I want to see your reaction after I tell you my number 3. But I want you to get your number 3 out the way. So go ahead. You tell me your number 3.
People are going to stop listening after I say this because then they're going to know what my number 1 and number 2 are.
It doesn't matter. They won't know who my number 1 and number 2 are. So it doesn't matter. It'll be fine.
So we're on number 3, right?
3.
Marcus Allen.
Okay, you know what?
They're gonna kick me. They're gonna be like, "Oh."
They won't because I can't figure out who your number 2 is. I can't think of your number 2 off the top of my head right now.
Okay.
Like I didn't write your list down.
Yeah, this is all. We didn't plan this.
Yeah.
So.
No, but like you have OJ at 4, so I know who your number 1 would be. So who would be your number 2?
Well, but to talk about OJ and Marcus Allen again, and people could say this has nothing to do, but it's like witnessing LeBron and witnessing Dr. J and seeing Michael Jordan, like the argument of who's best, who's the greatest. It's what I witnessed in my perception and the impact they had on me. So I'm not taking anything away from Marcus Allen. Any guys that played in the 70s, 80s, they set that foundation. But obviously the impact that OJ Simpson or are we creeping up? Do I say who? Are we saying my number 2?
No, don't say your number 2. Hold your number 2.
So the impact that some of the running backs that I listed, they had an impact on me differently than maybe what the perception of what stats or what accolades, right? So Marcus Allen, I think he's an historic pillar stone to not just USC football, to college football. He just he's a different era for me. So no, when I see you on the sideline, Marcus, don't be shade. Don't be no shade, okay?
So Marcus Allen is in my top 3, and Marcus Allen is a top 3 all-time running back at USC. I'm not going to take that from him. Like, I think that's kind of low, me personally, but I have nothing against. I will say this. You grew up in the Midwest. You weren't a football player, so you knew what was on the cover of football, I guess you could say. So I'm not there, and like right now, it's like, okay, like, we're working through this. When we get into the season and you start showing emotion because of what you have for the Trojans, like people will understand. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're here for. So like
Tyrone Wheatley is who I grew up watching. Frank Gore.
Right.
It's very different. They're still solid, but they're not USC. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a fangirl on more of this topic than I am. You're right. Thank you for giving me that. I appreciate it.
No problem. I'm more protecting you because they're going to come at us.
Come.
You know why? Because my number 3 is Reggie Bush.
Okay. I want to hear this.
And
this is not easy.
I mean, it's not. And my top 3 is they could be 1, 2, 3 on anybody's list, right? They could be 1, 2, 3 on anybody's list. You can put them in any order. But for me, my number 3 is Reggie Bush.
Okay.
And I always look at it like this, and I have this argument all the time with people who are LeBron fans, right? And I always say, like, all right, is LeBron really better than Kobe? I'm not Kobe, sorry. is LeBron really better than Jordan, right? He broke all the records and this and that. Like, okay, he's all-time scoring leader, but he played thousands of more games than Michael Jordan. What would Michael Jordan have done if he played the same amount of games? Everybody forgets Michael Jordan sat out a whole year, went and killed it in professional baseball, came back and won 3 titles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so you have things like the flu game, and I even kind of figure like LeBron's not really better than Kobe. People forget that Kobe dropped 81 in the game. People also forget that Kobe tore his Achilles at half court, walked to the free throw line, shot 2 free throws and made them, and wanted to stay in the game. Like, there's so many things that I factor in, like, what is my best, right?
Let's be 100 as an athlete.
Right. So Reggie is that.
What does Kobe Bryant look like if there is never a Michael Jordan?
No, you're right.
Like, so let's just.
And who was everybody chasing? Everybody's chasing Jordan because Jordan.
What number does LeBron James wear?
Right. Exactly. So like, Reggie is an outstanding athlete. Don't take anything for Reggie. What he did, I remember my senior year of high school. I was at the Fresno State game.
That would have been my freshman year in college.
He killed it at the Fresno State game. Well deserved. He's a Heisman Trophy winner in my eyes. If I was the AD at SC, I will put the number 5 back in the end zone, retire that number, keep it to tradition because he didn't do anything. Like I said, he played receiver, played running back, returned kicks. He was outstanding. Like, you get the free tickets. I thought I was at the UCLA game that year, and it was the year that they lost to Texas in the national championship.
I was there, and I was in that end zone, life changing.
Right? Yeah. So it's just like Reggie is like one of the all-time greatest running backs, but to me, he is not the all-time greatest running back at USC.
Okay, that's
he's
fair.
The third all-time, right?
And third all-time at USC, like that's like best in the universe, hands down.
I'll take that. If we legit had ESPN credibility, I would tell my kids I'm the third all-time running back according to ESPN at USC. Boy, you better listen to me. You know what I mean? So it's like that's something we're talking about. Like, so that's why I have Reggie as my number 3. We're rolling into the top 2 running backs. So I'm going to do my number 2 because I really can't picture, like, I'm trying to run the list through my head. Who would you have at number 2? But I just can't figure it out.
You can't think of who my number 1 is. That's what's throwing off your number 2. Because my number 1, you're gonna be like, can't.
I have an idea who your number 1 is.
Oh,
I have an idea. Like, if it's, but I'm going with the common trend. Like, oh, of course, this who her number 1 would be because the time she was there, like,
you're right.
Like, so I'm rolling with the trend. So that's why I'm kind of stuck on number 2. But my number 2 is another Heisman winner. So we're like 4 Heisman winners now, right? Charles White, Reggie Bush. Here's another Heisman winner. The man, Marcus Allen.
And that's your number 2?
That's my number 2. Marcus Allen is number 2.
That's solidified. There's no arguments there. There's no argument.
So my thing is, like, what can you say about Marcus Allen, right? Like, he was, right? He ran up and down the field. He was the man. Like, I know pro doesn't matter, but he.
You know how when you watch the videos and they be on the classics, this guy doesn't look like he's on the classic. That looks like game time, real time Madden, like 2020. There's not missing a beat there. I mean, it's almost futuristic, the capabilities he's doing.
And you're 100% right about that. Marcus Allen was ahead of his time when he was playing. Like, brute force, speed, like, he's big. Like, if you've never stood next to Marcus Allen's like 6'2".
Bro,
that's what
he can get it right now on the sideline. You see him out there, like,
right, yeah. Like, Marcus Allen's like 6'2". He's not a little dude. Like, he just steamrolled through everybody. Like, man, like, he was way ahead of his time. What he did at SC, like, you can't argue it, right? I mean, you could be like, oh, Reggie's better than Marcus Allen. Okay, that's fine. I won't argue that. Cool. Reggie's better than Marcus Allen. All right, that's your opinion. I think Marcus Allen, like, I think Marcus Allen, I just think he was just the man, right? And I didn't even grow up when Marcus Allen was playing. But I remember when I was young watching like little clips with Marcus Allen at SC, and I'm like, oh man, this dude is like a pro playing with kids. Like, like that's why I put Marcus Allen at number 2. Like you nailed it. You legit nailed it. Like he was way ahead of the talent he was playing with at that. Marcus Allen right now, with that talent that he had then in the late 70s and the 80s, will still be able to keep up and be the same legit dude that he was. Same Heisman, same pro career, everything. I don't see anything different with Marcus Allen.
I got to touch on that because that takes me back to like the whole LeBron thing. And I'm not at all, that's not a hater. Does LeBron survive in the era where Pippen, Rodman, throwing bows, elbows? This era, you get poked in the eye, bro, you're a straight Hollywood actor. You're rolling on the floor. You're like in the stands. You falling out. So you're right. You take certain athletes now, drop them off when they throwing real bros. Drop them off with some leather heads. Or are they still athletes? You take Marcus Allen, throw him on the cover of Madden right now. Not missing a beat.
Yeah. Don't put him on Madden because that's a curse.
Don't put
him on Madden. Let's put him on the ESPN magazine or something like that. But don't put him on Madden. Yeah. We don't want to curse him. Yeah, definitely. All right. It's your turn. Turn. What is your number 2?
My number 2 is a Heisman Trophy winner, which is very important. My number 2 is a Super Bowl champion. My number 2 I believe still has the highest selling jersey at USC. That might change with your recent QB we got. It would be Reggie Bush.
Oh wow! All right, I'm really thrown off. I don't even know who you have at number 1.
Yeah,
I thought your number 1 would be Reggie Bush.
Oh yeah, so Reggie. We kind of talked about it when I say like the Thunder and Lightning. He revolutionized, and I just remember seeing him. And again, you touched on. I'm a Midwest girl. I saw Barry Sanders growing up, and with a sorry Lions team, but Barry Sanders, the way he would run through people, similar to like a Marshawn Lynch, just trucking them down. When I got to USC, I'm like, dang, like this guy's like Barry Sanders, like a freshman year when he ran through Fresno, like. Bro, what's going on? So just seeing him do remarkable things. And then also, I'm going to be personal. For those of you that doesn't have the luxury, like I've trained side by side with him in the weight room. I've done 6 a.m. workouts with him. I've seen this guy's work ethic. I've seen him never really complain too much about anything and get the job done. So it's more than just his stats. It's more than just the accolades. It's even, there's more of a personal connection there. Like we share note takers. But then I saw this guy go run up 70 points at Fresno State. So Reggie Bush, number 2 all-time USC running back. Can't say
yeah. I will say this, like I've never met Reggie. I've seen him like walking by and say, hey, what's up? But everybody says like Reggie wasn't your typical athlete as far as like he was very quiet. Like he kind of kept to himself.
He's not your typical skilled player, right?
Yeah. Like he had more of a quarterback mindset. Like you never really saw him at the club. Like he was doing his thing because he was Reggie. Yeah, you never like he was doing his thing because he was Reggie because everybody wanted a piece of Reggie, but it was just like he was so like low key. It was kind of like
it was that laser focus, and you respected his hustle. There was guys that were on the coattails of what he was doing, and it showed. They didn't pan out in the league, or maybe who knows, they're even their collegiate career. But there was always something special about him, and I just respected him as an entire athlete. And then to just see this same guy that we would be studying, or we were poli-sci majors, learn about just goofy stuff, and then to see him do remarkable things, backflips. I'm like, oh, we doing that? Like they didn't see that in the room. So yeah, Heisman Trophy winner, Super Bowl, and integrity. If they would have dared taken my Heisman Trophy, I would act a complete fool. This guy, he still maintained composure in class, even though they drug him like he murdered somebody or took PED.
And I will say this about Reggie too, like you said about class, like he was banned from the SC campus. Like SC told him like he could not come on campus when that whole thing happened for like a good while, and then he got the job with Fox Sports, and then like they were kind of backed into a corner. But then they were like, man, you know what? We should just welcome this dude back. Like, he's not doing anything that – he didn't do anything that nobody else did. And now, like, he took the welcome with open arms, like, and, like, water under the bridge and kept moving. Like, it was great. So, he is an up-class dude to
Let's see.
You're going to have to take your thing down or put your hand behind it.
Look.
Put it behind the phone like that.
Oh, like this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nope, I lost it. Who is it?
2 Heisman Trophy winners from USC.
Oh, that's Reggie and who is that? Is that Marcus Allen and Reggie?
It is not. It is his. Okay. Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart.
Oh, nice. There you go.
On the Fox Studios in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. My God.
Did they remember you? Did they?
Did they? Look. we go back when Reggie used to have an Impala and Matt Leinart had a Ford Ranger.
Oh, there you go.
So we'll keep it there. That's a whole nother podcast. But yeah, Reggie Bush, just pure athleticism, and that's a track guy too. He's like California. I don't think he was a state champ, but what do you guys have? CIF finals?
Yeah, we have state. We have state for track. Yeah.
I don't know if he's a state champion, but I know he contributed to like some 4x1s, and he's a big advocate for track. And he told me when I saw him at the studio, he said that he wanted to do both, but football was kind of like, and now it's a little bit more accepted to do both. So he would have loved to run track at USC. He might have some. He definitely don't have no eligibility. Never mind.
It's gone. That's gone. That's gone. And I don't think he still has what he had back when he was 19 years old.
Nah, he's on to golf now. He's a golfer.
Yeah, there you go. So we're on number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1. We're on our top.
What's your number 1? Because you named some heavy hitters.
But who haven't I named yet? That's the question. That's all. I'm trying to figure out your number 1. I know who my number 1 is.
I know.
My number 1, I'll go. My number 1 to me is the Michael Jordan of USC running backs. I think this guy laid the foundation for USC running backs. He played in the 60s. I don't care. But what he did, this is another dude, 6'1", 6'1.5". He was probably about 215 when he was playing.
Okay.
He has a shady past, and it's fine.
Okay.
And I deal with the shady past because what he did on the field while he was at SC was remarkable. Everything that you think of a USC running back, you like, is it to this standard, right? And so this is why he's my number 1. You don't set USC running backs to Reggie Bush. You don't set USC running backs to Marcus Allen. You set USC running backs to this guy. Everything, it's to this guy. Is he set to this guy? Let's take the pass out. Let's take all the trouble he got into out, which people probably figured out who it is by now. But when you think of the standard, like, is it this guy? Has a Heisman, retired number, jersey in the end zone, number 32, the juice. O.J. Simpson is my all-time favorite all-time running back at USC. The shady pass, like
O.J. is to do with his USC impact.
Right, that's what I said. It has nothing to do with it. Let's take all that out. When you think of USC running backs, like, damn, is he like OJ? You know what I mean? Like, damn, is he like OJ? Like, how do we still know who OJ is? OJ played in the 60s.
Bro, how do we still know OJ? And he not shady pass, like controversial, like most famous trial ever. And he's still associated. You know, typically people will throw that shade and be like, oh, it's like a Barry Bonds. Got their opinion. Right. But yeah, OJ the Juice Man, I think that might be some space that people might have their feelings, but you get to talking about OJ, they might be like, yeah, I gotta agree with you. And I didn't know he went to a junior college. So you're talking about he didn't even have the same 4 years as everybody else and still got that done?
Right.
What you mean?
No. Yeah. And like I said, he sets the standard for USC running backs. He is the standard. And has been some guys who came and competed with him, Reggie, Marcus Allen, right? But he is the standard for USC running backs.
Okay, well, my number 1, you had him on your list, not a Heisman Trophy winner, left USC early, which probably impacted what his overall impact would be. And he was the thunder to the lightning. Is Lindell White. Your number 1 is Lindell? Okay. Yep.
Please go gentle on her in the comments.
I know.
Please go gentle on her in the comments.
When I tell you, and that's why, you know, I had Lindell, Reggie, and Marcus Allen. And again, we talked about the impact. I was a student athlete at USC and saw Lindell White. I was a student athlete. I've seen this guy, and I'm going to just keep it real, and they'll say it. Lindell was a bit lazy. He was a bit of a lazy athlete, did the bare minimum, and he went out there and performed and always was impressive. Overall, hands down, left early, Thunder to the Lightning. Any place else, he's not USC. He's the all-time greatest running back at someone else's school. Fair.
No doubt. Without a doubt.
And that's my, the Thunder to the Lightning. And not that Reggie isn't incredible, but again, like we talked about, it's like I can get my hair done at the salon with somebody that's got all these certificates, or I can go to my homie's, the auntie's kitchen and have my stuff laid right. So I love the notable recognition with accolades and awards and Heisman for sure. But we also know there are some pretty incredible quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, or you could name plenty that don't have those accolades that are great athletes, right? So Lindell, I feel like on paper doesn't have all the stats, but when you see him play, when you see him train, he's that Thunder.
I will say this. There were a lot of games where Lindell White had to get the game going. So I'm going to support your argument here. Like, there were a lot of games for 3 years. No, not so much. Honestly, their year was they kind of had like a 2-year run, because Reggie came on as a freshman, and then Lindell really didn't get any carries. And the next year it was Lindell and Reggie. But and Lindell White is at one point was like the all-time leading touchdown holder at USC. But like I said, there were games where you're like, damn, they're playing the run. They're playing the run. And all of a sudden, they start giving the ball to 21. 21's getting 6 yards of carry, 12 yards of carry. Next thing you know, 21's down the sideline. You know what I mean? It's like
moving the chains. And then if you, like you said, it's the impact. So I don't understand. I didn't play football, but I understand enough. You got to move the chains. It's a game of inches. So spectacular 99 run. Those are fantastic, but it's all about moving those chains. And that was what Lindell did for USC, contributed to those Rose Bowls, national championships. And cut short, went to NFL. He got a little bit of a controversial public figure, so I'm sure that is not as shiny as USC would like. But
he's from the other side of the tracks in Colorado that people don't know about. People just think Colorado was Vail.
Everybody knows about it now. So yeah, it's definitely a different perspective seeing the Thunder and the Lightning as a duo. And then I think it impacts a little bit of Reggie's, even their careers. Like, Reggie just wasn't an every down back, but because he was part of that USC culture, they throw him in the NFL, and he didn't have quite the same success until he got to a team that knew how to use them. But when you had Lindell and Reggie as that package, it just, I'll leave it there. We're talking USC.
No, I got you. No, 100%. So I just want to let you know that they're going to execute you in the comments. I just want to let you know that.
I'm ready for it. Because you know what? My boy Lindell is from the other side of the track. So that's all right.
They're going to execute you in the comments. But I understand what you're saying. Like, he's not my number one. And now I get why you were like, that's why I'm like, who is it? But now I get why you're like, damn, you got him right down there. Like, but.
And it's honestly, when you just said, when you think of USC running back, it's very different. Like, my experience versus a fan, I was in the era. So what I see, like, as an athlete on the sideline of Lindell White is very different than what people turn in and catch highlights and glimpses. So
no, 100%. You saw every single rep, every single whole game.
Every single game. And I'll never forget us walking and them having Reggie's jersey sitting in the bookstore. And Lindell just never was a jealousy type of thing, but just feeling some type of way that Reggie was always the golden child until, afterwards. He had an image. He fit that USC cookie cutter, and there was nothing wrong with that. But Lindell had grit to him. He had an edge to him. And you loved him.
He will let you know how he felt with no problem.
And at USC, sometimes we are the University of Spoiled Children. So we like to look a certain type of way.
I hate that they say.
I'm in Michigan.
I hate the fact they say that we're the University of Spoiled Children and we're way tougher than UCLA. I just don't understand that. Like, we're way tougher than UCLA.
Scores. UCLA 75-88 dual meet. You see how we
there you go. Hey, so it's been fun. I enjoyed it. We want to thank all you guys for listening. We want to thank all you guys for tuning in. We had a big turnout last week. I don't know if it's because of my new co-host and all her popularity. Apparently, I wasn't that popular. We want you guys keep liking, keep subscribing, leave comments. If you see Candice Davis Price reply, you better be ready because she's gonna come with some fire now. Like she got something.
Not to mention, we already know my husband UCLA, but he's from Crenshaw High School, so he's from the actual streets of Los Angeles. So come and bring the heat. I got the goon squad ready.
So yeah, we appreciate we appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been fun, Candice. We got through the top 10, and it's a little controversial. I think there's going to be a lot of people who have a lot to say.
I mean, the best part about this is, for the most part, I would say we were like 80% the same. But it's different, I think, because we were athletes, and I knew most of these people. I would love and welcome someone that saw Marcus Allen playing the Coliseum. Like, that's mind blowing. So
shit, me too.
Yeah, share that comment, share that experience. Hell, send me a link to something I've probably never seen before. What I've seen, it's been my dad watching him, and Marcus Allen is a very active alumni at USC. So I've been fortunate enough to interact with him on a different level than seeing him as a megastar running back. So I think that's affected it too.
So me and Ryan have accomplished a little bit. We've accomplished receivers. We accomplished defensive backs. I think we just did safeties. So what we have
receivers big when I was at school. We had some big time receivers.
Yeah, so we did receivers, we did safeties.
Okay.
So we have linebackers, offensive line, and D-line next.
Who did QBs?
Well, we have quarterbacks too. We have quarterbacks left.
That could get real crazy.
So when I was looking at quarterbacks, so we want to do offense, defense. So we got to do a defense test. So we need to do linebackers or D-line next.
Okay.
But when you look at quarterbacks, there's really not a lot of good. There's not 10 that you'd be like. You could put a 10 list together, but like it's kind of top heavy. But when we get to you'll see.
Yeah.
Like, but
the running backs for sure you could go 10, but some of the positions, yeah.
Yeah, so like we'll do
like John David Booty might make the top 10 quarterbacks.
John David Booty has the all-time touchdown record in the Rose Bowl. Why not? You know what I mean? Like JD might.
Shout out to Shreveport, Louisiana.
JD was a winner. JD won. He never had a losing season, and he lost 5 games his whole college career as a starter. Like, hey, get all JD's back. You know what I mean? But
you could do the top not quarterbacks at USC. Okay, I'm done.
Oh man. So yeah, we'll get that together. We'll get a list. We'll get another poll out. Like I said, we want to thank you guys for watching. If you want to put your race in this weekend for Kentucky Derby, don't forget to go to Bet Online. If you want to be healthy, don't forget to chug some Athletic Greens every morning and get you going. Candice, I always appreciate you. This is fun. We're gonna have a great year together. We will see you guys next week. This is the Bet Online Salute Detroit podcast. You know how it goes. Live free, fight on.